folks. We are late to it, maybe a few years late, but I still haven't seen it. But Brian has watched Severance. Would love to hear your thoughts, Brian, on the ever so popular TV show.
Yeah, Severance season 1 and 2 on Apple TV, and I just finished season 2 on Apple TV, Stephen. And you know what? There's not many times where you can say that a show seems to transcend into culture and like subculture into like the norms of our society, but this Severance show is penetrating our culture, and you see it everywhere. And not even to the extent of like even showing scenes and snippets. It's just like you'll have little shots of Helly, who is the lead girl, female in Severance, and Mark, who is the lead male, played by, oh my gosh, how am I blanking on him from Parks and Rec? I feel like such a jabroni for not remembering this.
I got you.
Adam.
I got you.
But
Yeah.
they're like, you see them everywhere. They're like, it's just becoming memes. It's just penetrating subculture. And I don't think that there's many times when movies penetrate like this. So you kind of think of like Quentin Tarantino, where they have some sort of like, it's bigger than just the show itself. And I think that's what we're kind of dealing with Severance, is it's having a cultural moment here. I really enjoyed it. It was kind of interesting. Them in the beginning of the season promotion, they had like at the Grand Central or something like that. They had like a glass box, and they did had all the actors, or most of the actors, come in to just like act in person as like be this like pop up like Severance room, which is real cool marketing. I think it's like
Yes.
you have Ben Stiller who's directing this, which is really Ben's. I think he's made so many movies. I think sometimes you think of him more of it as an actor, a comedic actor, but he's directing these movies as well. And I think in Severance here, this is a project where he's really been able to separate himself as an actor, and this is him just as a director and a storyteller. And it's been really interesting to see him work in the space and how creative he is. I think actually it's a really weird element of this, but I actually noticed something, and this is a weird comparison with the popularity of Elden Ring, the video game. And it penetrated culture similarly because, and I think I'm what I think makes something this talked about and this present in our culture is almost the puzzle aspect of it. I noticed a common thread through line of both these projects is the lack of context and explanation of what is going on in the game, or in Severance's case, the show. And when you confuse people and you don't provide them with the answers, they just talk amongst themselves trying to fill in those holes. So what you establish is a really engaged audience that communicates amongst itself to try to figure out the missing pieces of. And you don't do the mental gymnastics and explanations for the audience. They do it themselves. They want to put it together. They're smart. They can put together these things, and they don't need all the answer. It's fun when it's a puzzle making, when you can argue about the meaning of this, the meaning of that. And I think that this is art where you allow for the audience to fill in gaps of the unexplained. And Severance has a lot of moments of establishing mystery, of just like, whoa, what the heck is this? It doesn't even like really have to logically make sense. They are applying traditional things like just breaking down a bed, like a baby crate, like a baby cage. It's not like necessarily like gun to gun. It's like psychologically, like it's almost like yeah, like the artistic of like, we're breaking down this baby cage. What can you interpret by this action? We're not going to tell you why. We're not going to give you the answers. We might provide some, but we'll let you guys discuss amongst yourselves and have a discord about what this truly means. So I think Severance, I do notice that there was a little difference visually between season 1 and 2. I think that maybe be the money of like just like it being a little bit different work. But I really like this. It's so weird. It's so finds moments of being extremely heavy, but then having great comedic moments with some of the coworkers in there, the relationships they have with each other, and then also the juxtaposition between the life of the severed employee who's in this area and the life of the real person, and kind of those kind of battling against each other, and the bouncing between back and forth just keeps us really fresh. It's just there's just so many routes it can go, and for a story that is contained to just an office space, it's got a lot going on. So Stephen, I would definitely recommend watching this, and if anybody hasn't watched this, I would definitely recommend checking it out. And if you have checked it out, please leave a comment and share with us some of your favorite moments of this, if you like it or you don't. If you're excited for season 3, what you think might be happening in season 3, because it keeps getting kind of left in limbo. But and the last thing I will say is this is true cinema, where they will, instead of voicing and articulate a decision through dialogue, they'll design a scene where the blocking will represent the decision, where it's like, you know, he's got a decision left and right down the hallway, and it's true cinema where it's like the shots reinforce the story, and the story moments reinforce the characters, and they show you instead of tell you, which is just a fun way to watch. So I really recommend Severance, and would recommend it to anybody else. So please like and follow and subscribe. Anything left, Stephen?
I'm excited to watch it. And Adam Scott, I'm excited
Adam
to see
Scott.
his performance. There you go. All right,
Yep.
folks, we appreciate it. See ya.